What's up, everyone? Good morning to you. It is Election Day runoff for Georgia. Today is Tuesday. It's December the 6th, 2022. In Georgia, the polls opened 28 minutes ago or 26 minutes ago. So if you have not voted early in Georgia, please make your way to the polling location today. I see you, Kim Edmondson. I see you, Robert Holman, Jeffrey Allen James, Camille Jones, Tracy Newman. I see you, Deborah Johnson. I see you, Rosanna Bivens. I see all of you. And good morning to everyone that's tuning in by audio on our podcast platform. Good morning to you. You may be tuning in a little bit later today. And if you are, I just want to say good afternoon or good evening to you. But regardless, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to spend a little bit of time with you on today. Tracy Numi says the lines are getting long. Yes, I was looking at some press releases before coming on the air, and I was going to look at some of the images that were connected to those press releases, and they are long. So, y'all, you have to be patient today, but it is worth the wait. It is worth the wait. I see you, Lori Wallace. I see you, Jacqueline. I see you, Fred Jones. Good morning, Fred Jones. We still got to continue the conversation. Yes, I understand that young man has an injury, but is this what we're going to be faced with? And I know you helped educate me the other day about the stock of the college football players, and that especially if they're going into draft. But doesn't that change the game when we want to watch the game later on if all of our favorite players aren't playing for whatever reason? Especially when it comes to they're wanting to go into the draft for the NFL. We got to continue that conversation. I'm gonna have Fred Jones on sometime this week so we can talk about that. I see you, Hester Jackson. I see you, Shardinia, as well. Again, y'all, today is Tuesday, December the 6th, 2022, and I want to get started. All right, Georgia, you're up. It's time for you to go to the polls. Again, polls opened at 7 a.m. this morning. They will close at 7 p.m. Reminder, if you are in line at 6:59 and 42 seconds left to the clock, you can stay in line. You can stay in line. Here's a couple of numbers you want to write down. Election protection number, and I think Isaiah may have that to pop that up, is 1866 our vote. Election protection 1866 our vote. Voter hotline number is as follow. It is 800-253-3931. 800-253-3931. If anybody wants to put that in the thread so that people can grab it, or you just take your cell phone out and take a quick picture of that, please remember the voting rights hotline. If you run into any trouble whatsoever at all, call that number. Call that number. Fred Jones says it doesn't change the game for teams like Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, etc. Those teams are loaded. I hope you're right, Fred Jones. I hope you're right, especially if Ohio State has an opportunity to replay that team up north, as I will call them. So y'all remember the election protection number and the voter hotline. Also, what to bring. There seems to be some confusion. Was looking at a few press releases out of Georgia. There seems to be some confusion. So let me go back through this list again that I shared on yesterday. Please, y'all, if you have any friends or family in Georgia, make sure you get them this information. What IDs are acceptable for in-person voting in Georgia? Any valid state or federal government issue photo ID, including a free ID card issued by your county registrar's office. So if you get up this morning or you get there and you can't find your ID, you can go right there to your Georgia Department of Registrar's office, the county registrar's office, and get a free ID. Get a free ID. So you have that opportunity. Also, a Georgia driver's license, even if it has expired. If you have an expired Georgia's license, driver's license, you can use that to vote today. Student ID from a Georgia public college or university, and then a valid employee photo ID from any branch, department, agency, or entity of the U.S. government, Georgia, or any country, municipality, municipality, board, authority, or other entity of the state. You can have also a valid U.S. passport ID a valid U.S. military ID with photo containing the actual voter. You can also have a valid tribal photo ID containing a photograph of the voter. All you need to do is bring one of those. Just bring one of those. You cannot be turned away. So if you need this list, I'm gonna figure out how we can take an image of this and post this in the thread today as well. But we want to let you know what's needed. You have to have those IDs. So one of those IDs. Good morning, Pastor Alex, and don't forget, y'all, it was Pastor Alex's birthday last week, so we want to say happy birthday to him. All right, y'all. On today being election day in Georgia, you have to vote at your precinct. During early voting, you were able to go other places, but today you have to vote at your precinct. If you're not sure where that is, go to your Secretary of State's office and click on that. There's been some questions about the ballotpedia, giving you the right information, which they're always right. So I don't know if there's a glitch in the system or what, but go to your Secretary of State's office in Georgia and get that information. And Tracy Numi says today is her birthday. So happy birthday to you, Tracy Numi. Happy birthday. All right, y'all. Again, we want to give y'all this list. It's amazing how people like this list. Someone wrote in yesterday and said that they took down notes on everything on this list and they gave it to all of their family and friends in the Atlanta area. So you need to have your ID because lines are going to be long. They were already long before they opened this morning. If you need to take medication, okay? Have that with you. Have something to read because you're going to be there for a minute. 100% charge portable battery. You want your phone also charged 100%. Take your own bottled water. I don't know if Dr. Antoinette's on here, but she puts BYOW. Bring your own bottle of water. Fruit. If you need fruit, have something to snack on: crackers, insulin, protein bars, sunglasses. I don't know what the weather's like in Georgia. A chair if you're going to get tired, a sandwich if you're going to get hungry. Y'all have on comfortable shoes. Please have on comfortable shoes. Women, I don't know why we got to keep saying this: leggings, no tights, and then lots of patience. You're going to need a lot of patience. All you go in there, but here's the thing: you may be in line long, but it's going to probably take you 5 minutes once you get in there. You're either voting for the current Senator Raphael Warnock, or you're voting for Herschel Walker. Okay. Now, the other thing is, please keep calling your people today. Remind them that today is the day for the Georgia runoff. If they have not already early voted, make sure you get that in. All right, y'all. Speaking of voting, the Supreme Court hears a free speech case that happened on yesterday. I'm going to give you a direct quote from author German Lopez of the New York Times. Here's the quote. He says, yesterday, the justices heard a high anticipated case about whether a Colorado website designer who opposes same-sex marriage should be compelled to serve gay couples. The designer, Lori Smith, says she wanted to expand her business to offer wedding sites, but she did not want to peddle her wedding services to gay clients based on her religious beliefs. She worried that she would run afoul of Colorado state law, which prohibits businesses from discriminating based on sexual orientation. She also sued state officials, claiming that they forcing her to provide services to gay couples amounted to endorsing her marriages and violated her free speech rights. He goes on to say in his write-up in the New York Times, both sides argue that the case could have big consequences. Smith supporters say decisions against her would allow the government to compel the speaker does not agree with, a First Amendment violation. Her opponents, however, say that a ruling in her favor would effectively legalize all kinds of discrimination currently prohibited against certain classes, including races or disabilities, under the guise of free speech. End of quote. Let me sit here and just say this to you all. Again, this is setting a precedent. Do y'all remember the Supreme Court hearing the case of the baker? Don't forget that. And so now because that was now law, this is kind of like signaling that they're going to side with her. So that brings in races, disabilities, and other guise of free speech. So, y'all, we're in a really strange space right now. Yes, Kim Edmondson, pay attention. Now, y'all, here's the bottom line. Smith is worried about violating the Colorado Public Accommodations Law, but the justices are saying that Smith's case is about free speech. Y'all been hearing about free speech. Go to Twitter, go to Elon Musk. Hear about that former guy and the things that he's saying and his children are saying. This is all about free speech. Justice Gorsuch said the issue is not the couple, but the message the site would send. Justice Barrett says that the strongest ground on which Smith stands is that her work is custom. Then we have Justice Clarence Thomas, who probably needs to be in jail too right now. This is not a restaurant. This is not a riverboat or a train. I'm not sure what he was trying to say. And I read his full write-up and I'm like, I don't get what he's saying. It's almost like he was speaking in riddles. Pay attention, people, as Kim Edmondson says, pay attention. Then you have the liberals or the progressives on the bench. Well, let's start with the amazing Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, who asked this question. If y'all didn't see it, y'all need to watch it because it was powerful. She asked if a mall photographer could request only photos of white children on Santa's lap. Hello, somebody. Justice Sotomayor, worried about those who disagree with interracial marriage. And then Justice Keegan also noted that the wedding websites are usually made up of graphics and links to hotels and not of works of art. And that's coming from CNN. So, y'all, it's really interesting what's happening there. So we have to follow along. But don't stop there. On tomorrow, the Supreme Court will hear arguments on a new election case. Yeah. The Republican led challenge asking the justices for a ruling that could significantly increase the power of state lawmakers over elections for Congress and the presidency. We don't want that to happen. We already know. So something is already brewing. Y'all go back to January the 6th, the insurrection that was led by the former guy who should be in prison right now, along with everybody else who was a part of it. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Y'all, the court is set to hear arguments tomorrow in the case from North Carolina. This is a case called Moore versus Harper. Okay, y'all, where Republican effort is to draw congressional districts heavily in their favor were blocked by Democratic majority of the state Supreme Court because the GOP map violated the state constitution. Same thing happening right here in Ohio, but they're not quitting. So they're sending these cases to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has already begun to hear them. It is setting a precedent. Y'all listen, I'm telling y'all what I'm telling y'all because I know what I know and I'm here to give you the facts and I'm praying that you all pay attention. So this is what's happening. This is what's happening. If they get the okay to draw these maps, trust me, every state will begin to draw those maps, which are Republican led. Y'all, this is why voting is important no matter where you are, whether it's local, county, township, federal. Y'all, these all connect. They are not separated. They all connect. These maps are important. All right, y'all. A court-drawn map produced 7 seats for each party in last month's midterm election, which was highly competitive in North Carolina. The question for the justices, however, is whether the U.S. Constitution's provision giving state legislators the power to make the rules about the times, places, and manner of congressional election cuts state courts out of the process. Y'all stop right there. Who all of a sudden on this weekend started talking about canceling the Constitution? Y'all don't miss this, y'all. There's a connection here. There's a connection. The moment I read this and I saw those words, I said, wait a minute, stop. Who's already distracting us? And y'all, we're getting so distracted with what Deion Sanders is doing. Y'all, he's gone. He done already talked to his players, wore his jersey. He's moving on, taking care of what his pocket, his family, whatever, doing what he does best. Okay. So we gotta get off him. We gotta get off of the Netflix series of Harry and Meghan. I'm watching it too. The first one comes out on Thursday. I think that's Thursday, whatever December the 8th is. I'm watching it too. I can't wait for them to come after. We get distracted because Prince William to come out talking about, I'll fight this tooth and nail. We all into that. That's cool and all. That's cool and all. But get back to the Constitution. The former guy wants to cancel the Constitution. We have Elon Musk, who isn't even a citizen of the United States of America that I know of. That there's some question there. I shouldn't say he's not. Let me back that up. There's some question there. But here he is buying Twitter for $44 billion and talking about free speech. I'm going to get to that in a moment as well. But y'all, we need to be paying attention to the Supreme Court. And if you want more information, be sure to visit the Supreme Court at www.supremecourt.gov. I said a whole lot. Tell me what you're thinking, y'all. Tell me what you're thinking. All right, y'all. So I mentioned Elon Musk, so let's talk about Twitter news. Why the hate? All right, y'all. In a report released Friday by the Center of Countering Digital Hate, said that since Musk purchased Twitter, there have been nearly 3,900 posts a day, however you want to say it. That includes a slur against Black people. It more than tripled the 2022 average of 1,282 tweets. Tweets using slur against gay people rose 58% from 2,506 per day to 3,964 per day. And posts that includes transgender slur jumped by 62% from 3,159 to 5,117. There's also a 33% increase in posts using disparaging terms about women, according to the report. Now, more to the story. Data shows hate speech on the rise from his own Twitter feed. Yeah, there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that. And why we are not calling attention to that, there's something wrong with that. Yes, Kim Edmondson, hashtag why the hate. Why the hate? All right, y'all. Speaking of Twitter, Elon Musk and the Ukrainian President Zelensky are among the short list of candidates for Time Magazine 2022 Person of the Year. I don't think there should be any debate. It should be the Ukrainian President Zelensky. Elon Musk shouldn't be anywhere close to that list at all. Also, y'all, CNBC is reporting, sources says Pepsi Company is planning to lay off hundreds of North American corporate jobs following a rival Coca-Cola November restructuring announcement. And then CNN also reports that attorney Michael Avetti, what was his name? Avetti? I think I'm saying that right. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison in California for tax fraud and stealing millions of dollars from clients. So here's my question. If he's in prison, why isn't the former guy in prison? Yeah, these are the questions we need to be asking ourselves. Lori says, it's so many distractions. People aren't focused on any one thing because it's a lot coming from everywhere in many directions. That's why some bad stuff for people will slip through and people don't see it coming. You got that right. Latrice Jones, what's up? She says Coke is better anyway. Leave it to Latrice Jones. All right, Latrice Jones. Leave it to Latrice Jones. All right, y'all. USA Today is also reporting that the federal deadline to obtain a real ID extended by 2 years to May 2025. So you have some time there. Just go ahead and get your passport and already get it done and be done with it. Federal law passed in 2005 established minimum security standards for state issue identification forms. What's up, Mike Nicholson? He said Coke is better. Wait, what Coke? Only Mike Nicholson. Only Mike Nicholson. Now, y'all, this is just an FYI. Don't throw anything at me. I'm not going to have it this morning. But y'all, CDC is reporting that It's an early, sharp surge of the flu like they haven't seen in years. It's spiking cases, also a respiratory virus, that's the RSV, among children that are currently in a critical juncture. And experts warn that we shouldn't count out the wave of COVID 19 and the new cases that are on the horizon, that they have seen a spike since Thanksgiving weekend, which is why the CDC announced on yesterday that people really should wear masks. They said to help reduce the spread of respiratory illnesses. I'm going to say this. People were looking at me crazy when I was flying out, going on my anniversary vacation because I had my mask on. My husband had his mask on. People were looking at us like, whatever, I don't care. And so this one guy, and here's Siri talking to me, and this one guy said, are you going to wear that for all those hours? Yep. Mind your business. I'm minding mine. And people started coughing. And again, I'm in that place where he was like, do you by chance have another one of those? I should charge you since you was talking about me. But you need that mask, right? Y'all wear your mask. Wear your mask. All right, y'all, that's the news for today. I promised you on yesterday that we were going to give you some information about the forecast of news in motion going into 2023. And we thought today would be a great time to do it because starting tomorrow, we're just going to have some fun. We're going to have some news headlines, but we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about gift giving. We're going to talk about some food. So, Micah, hopefully you'll be on here. All kinds of stuff. Yeah, Latrice Jones, back to the mask. Lori says, you saw I had mine on at Nabo. It was, yeah, I believe it. You saw I had mine on at Nabo too. Like, a mask, here it is. All right, y'all. So here we go. And I'm purposely not revealing everything. I'm purposely not revealing everything. My attorney, Evelyn Robinson, said, will you stop giving all your information out? Because that's intellectual property. But I do trust our News in Motion viewers to share some of this information with you. Regina Shore says she wears her mask too. I believe it, girl. I believe it. All right, so let's go. The first image Isaiah is going to put up is just our cover image of our 2023 news in motion forecast. So we're just going to give you the forecast. And from there, we're going to start with the 2023 segments. We've been listening to you all. I kind of like dipped back into something yesterday. So here we go with our 2023 segments. Of course, you're going to get news headlines, but we're going to change those somewhat to make sure you're getting headlines that are either urgent or most important, and then headlines you may not necessarily hear, which here on News in Motion, we give you a lot of that anyway. We pride ourselves on giving you a lot of that anyway. We're going to go back to giving you information from Council on Foreign Relations, Foreign Affairs. Many of you have asked about that. You said you missed it. So we're going to go back to that in 2023. You're going to continuously get news from the White House. Along with that, people were asking about the apprenticeship program and how you can be a part of the invitation list and how you can get access to some of those things, like when we did the volunteers for the holiday season. So we're going to really define that and make sure we're bringing you that as well. Then from the chambers, this is anything that's coming from the three branches of government. We're going to be bringing you that information. Anything that is the most important, we're going to pull from those from going through thousands of press releases to bring you that information. Of course, we will continue with Game Over with Kenny. He also has his own podcast as well, but he will still play a part at least, we know, once, maybe twice a week. It's on the line. That's a new segment that we're going to be doing. It is on the line. And on the line is going to really bring in all the different information we need to share with you. What's the cause? What's the cause is that call to action piece. And we're going to list the cause at least once a week. And then also the inspirational message. So with that being said, thank you so much, Isaiah. With that being said, we looked at everything we wanted to do with our segments, and we wanted to really focus on what some of the goals would look like and how we're going to get there. Before I get to the goal sheet, I need to share with you again, there's some images we're not showing on purpose because it's intellectual property and it's better, I can say it more so than put it up there anyway. We looked at this year and looked at all the accomplishments we made as a viewership, as a community of News in Motion. And when we talk about this, Lori says, love it. Just need to add segment. That's happening. Segment. That's happening is still there, as well as will they, won't they? But we put that under, it's on the line. So yes, I was going to put it out there singly as a single topic, but we included that under, it's on the line. So it's still there, Lori. Latrice Jones says the forecast is fire. I'm excited about what's on the horizon for News in Motion. What's up, Diane Ladybug? What's up? Many of you keep asking about her and her work. I'm gonna showcase some of I'm gonna give you her information on how you can reach Diane Ladybug tomorrow. I already have it on my my segment list for tomorrow. Y'all, her job has changed. She's doing some different hours, so she comes in when she can, but she still loves us. She's not gone anywhere. Y'all, again, when people are not, when you don't see them here, two things. One, they may not have clicked all the way in. Two, they could be listening on audio or podcast because they're driving somewhere. And three, it's okay that people take a break. That doesn't mean they don't love us. They still love us. So with that, the things that we did this past year have been outstanding. We are continuously feeding families on a regular basis. We are continuously doing gift giving, especially during the holidays. We are doing so much as a community. So when we're talking about Patreon, which is going to be phasing out, we'll talk about that in a few moments. But when we talk about Patreon, which is going to be phasing out, we're talking about sowing the seed, or we're talking about sending Cash App. Y'all, listen, it is because we are constantly reaching out, doing things for people. All right, y'all, we're constantly doing research. We're doing things to bring you what you have been asking for. So we're going to continue that. We did not make a big announcement about this. I went to certain people who had asked about it, but we did help 9 people with rent this year. 9 people with rent this year. Y'all, this is coming out of News in Motion. So it's not just about our grassroots aggregated news. It's about that call to action that we do, that we don't talk a lot about, because I decided that we don't need to tell everybody what we're doing, but we are here to do it. So we're real excited. So Isaiah, if you can put up the segments again, I see you, Judy Neal. If you put up the segments again, y'all, again, these are the 2023 segments. This is our forecast. And then, yes, Lori, that's happening. And will they, won't they is under, it's on the line. Thank you for that, Isaiah. All right, y'all. So then we move to our 2023 goals, and we have 5 of them. And I want to take our time to go through these 5 as much as possible. I'm still trying to hit that 30-minute mark. So with that, the 2023 goals are as follow. We want to register 10,000 new voters. We want to register 10,000 new voters. Y'all, this year we were right under 10,000. But this is like an off election year. There'll be some local elections, but we want to register 10,000 new voters, and that's collectively what we're doing. We want to feed 10 families a month. We want to feed 10 families a month, not the same families each month, but we want to feed 10 families a month. And we're also looking at some partnerships to do it. Misha says, that's amazing work. Congratulations, News in Motion. Thank you for showing up strong for us. We're here. We're here. We're here. We want to help kickstart 5 small businesses. If y'all remember, we said back in September that we were going to help 2 businesses. We did. We just didn't make announcements for that. We did that in October. This year, going into 2023, we want to help kickstart 5 small businesses. The number 4, News in Motion viewers determine an idea for a bill. We've talked about it. Now it's time for us to take action and present it to a representative with the hopes that they will introduce it to Congress and that it will become legislation. It will become a law. I'm real excited about that, but I'm excited about all of them. But it's time for us to take that step and to do it. And then finally, host monthly webinars for News in Motion members. All right. So with that being said, thank you, Isaiah. Let me get to that piece. We are phasing out Patreon at the end of this month. For any of you who did Patreon for a year, no worries. You getting a serious deal because you will automatically be included in the membership. And trust me, the monthly membership is going to cost way more than what you paid for 1 year of um, of Patreon. So you're getting a gift. We don't want to ignore that you did that for a year. So the reason we decided, we made a concerted effort from the team that we would just phase you in, and you're just getting a major deal. You're going to become a member from the monthly membership, and we won't reveal that price until January. We're still working to tweak some things, but our lineup for the monthly webinars are outstanding. You've been asking, well, how do we access the money at the White House? Well, we have somebody who's going to teach you that. You have been asking, what do we do about investments? We have somebody, Kim Edmondson, who's going to teach you that. We have people who are asking, how do I start that small business? We heard you. We have experts who are making millions of dollars in their business who have agreed to come join us on the webinar. How do I do this? How do I do that? We have monthly webinars that's going to answer all of those questions. And y'all, I'm so excited about it. I took a step of faith out there, and people said yes. I was like, wow, if I only knew that they would have said yes, I would have asked them a long time ago. But remembered that God's timing is perfect. Kim Edmondson says she loves this. Latrice Jones says, I'm here for number 4. Let's go. Mike says, shout out to the talented Isaiah Jones because I was at New Salem Sunday admiring his video skills and angles. Isn't he the bomb.com? Deborah says, I love this. News in Motion is focused and making an impact. And that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. All right, y'all. The next slide. In partnership, we have Game Over with Kenny, as you all know, so his podcast will continue. We also will have rolling out in January 2023, Right from the Heart with Deborah Johnson, who fills in for me when I'm out. And then we have our young people, Hip Hop Hooray with Isaiah and Lexi. So y'all, we also have other people who have submitted pitches, and we will start with these 3 in January, that first quarter. We'll see how those go. And then if so, we'll roll out the other people who have submitted pitches as well. Lori is saying News in Motion is amazing, making a difference and leaving a mark. We're trying to. Thank you, Isaiah. Y'all, one thing that I'm learning is all about consistency. It's all about consistency. Whether there are 10 live viewers, 30 live viewers, 1,000 live viewers, it's about consistency. And don't let those numbers in the live fool you. Our audio and our podcast listeners are through the roof. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who are tuning in by audio and by podcast. With that, we had been struggling back and forth with our Friday podcast. True, full transparency. We were doing News in Motion, but it was already on audio. So we were kind of like repeating ourselves on Friday. And I was like, I'm not feeling this. We had something in mimosas at one point, and after a while, you run out of mimosa recipes. I wasn't feeling that. And so we went into a time of prayer. And I am so thrilled with what I call her my right hand person, Molly Huggins, who helps me work through some things. And we were talking through, along with Gina Winks, who's our audio engineer, we were working through what do I do with the podcast. So the team, that's the original millennial team, came together along with the attorney, again, that's Evelyn Robinson, and we sat down and we processed. And they said, who are you? We put together white paper. We had the walls filled with white paper. We were strategizing, and y'all know I pushed back a lot and they pushed back with me. We were strategizing, we were digging deep. We looked at every angle. We looked at every angle of this. Pastor Alex says, I'm looking forward to Davia Williams Stevenson partnership. Look, we promote her every day. That girl's the bomb.com. She is soaring. She is soaring. And we will always be in collaboration with each other. That girl's the bomb.com. Y'all don't sleep on Davia. Don't sleep on Davia. Y'all, Davia just had a birthday also. So happy birthday to Davia. I believe she's somewhere incognito. We'll probably see her next week. But yes, Pastor Alex, yes, yes, yes. So with that, we were sitting back and we were like, what are we going to do? So they put everything together. And I am so excited to announce this new podcast that will appear the first Friday of January. And I want y'all to be the first people to who's actually watching this live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Y'all have been supporters from day one. So I want y'all to see this image of the podcast that's coming out. Go ahead, Isaiah, and put it up. Politics and Prose, a podcast with author and activist Gail Dudley, coming January 2023. I really want to hear y'all's response to that. I'm even getting teary-eyed telling y'all this. I'm so excited about this podcast. This is in going on with News in Motion. Good morning, Devontae Goins. Y'all, this is the new podcast that will release the first Friday in January. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. We put a lot of work to this, but I'm so excited. The lineup of guests are amazing. Amazing. We just had to go there again. I had to just really give into what God has called me to, and this is it in partnership with News in Motion. And News in Motion and Politics and Prose and all of our partnerships are now under Ready Media LLC. Thank you, Isaiah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Devontae said, will it have a video component to it? Not yet, not yet. Thank you, Hester. Thank you, Rosanna. Thank you, Latrice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This now leads me to the inspirational message today. And we're over our 30 minutes, but I had to give y'all all that. So here's the inspirational message today, and that is called Permission to Succeed. Permission to succeed. Permission to succeed. So, y'all, this inspirational message on yesterday, when I came back into town, I call her my counselor coach. We all should have a counselor. We should all have a coach, but this particular person is my counselor and my coach. So permission to succeed. So it's about a 50 minutes session that we have, and we were on Zoom going through stuff, and I was just telling her stuff, where I was, how I was feeling, just this, that, and the other. And she was listening, and I could see her shaking her head. And I always have pen and paper. And I believe everybody should have a coach. I believe everybody should have a coach and pay them. Okay. And I always have. And so I was done. And she said, are you finished? And I said, yes, I am. And she's a Christian woman, and she's really deep, and she goes in and she will slice me up with a knife. And she says, okay, I'm going to give you some feedback. And so I pulled out my paper and my pen. She goes, you don't need that. Sit that down. She said, because what I need you to do, I need you to receive what I'm about to tell you. And I asked her permission to be able to share this with you today. She says, yes, you can do that. So this is what she said to me. And it just floored me. And I believe it's going to floor you. And I'm going to say to you the same thing she said to me. She says, now, Gail, she says, we've been together for about 2 years. She goes, we meet on a monthly basis, and I see your growth. I see your progress. I see everything that you're doing. She said, but this is what I need you to do today. I need you to give yourself the permission to succeed. Y'all, I just was floored. I said, what? She goes, you have not given yourself permission to succeed. She said, you keep praying, asking God to bless you, to expand your territory, to do this, that, and the other. And God is answering it. She said, but you haven't given yourself permission to get there. She said, you're worried and concerned about what everybody else is thinking, feeling, doing. And I'm just being transparent, y'all. She goes, you are afraid that if you succeed, people aren't going to like you. She said, they don't like you already now. I said, well, dang. She goes, but that's the truth. She goes, you know that. She goes, there's people who don't like you, and it's okay. She said, but it's time for you to succeed. She goes, I've heard you say you want to take this international. You want to do this on a national level. She goes, you have everything you need to do that. She goes, but you haven't given yourself permission to succeed. Listen, y'all, give yourself permission to succeed. Y'all, that was a freeing word for me yesterday. She goes, you can no longer control your success. She goes, let the door open, let the floodgates open, and ride it. She goes, I see your work. She goes, you have no clue the talent, your real talent that you have. She goes, I see. She goes, I watched the news. And I'm like, well, I got more than this from Gail Dudley on NewsInMotion today. She goes, every day. She goes, not only myself, my husband, my children, my grown children talk about what you delivered. We compare you to other people all the time. She goes, I know comparison is a thief of joy. She said, but we compare you. She said, you're really good. She goes, bottom line, you're really excellent at what you do. She goes, but you haven't decided how excellent you are. Y'all, that was freeing. That was freeing. And I want to leave that with you today. All right, y'all. Tomorrow we're going to have fun. Thursday we're going to have fun. Next week we're going to have fun. That's the forecast for NewsInMotion. More to come. Again, I'm so excited about the podcast that will start happening Fridays in January, beginning January. I'm excited about the partnerships and all the things that we are doing. If you have something, see, Mike Nichols says, sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Yes. Marion says, amen. I give myself permission to succeed. Lori says, if you don't believe it yourself, it doesn't matter what someone else says. You're absolutely correct. Mike says, listen, I know that people don't like me, and hit that shoulder shrug and keep it pushing. You have to. Devontae says, come on now. Amen. You have to. You have to. See, I have a challenge, and thanks for raising that, you all. I have a challenge. I'm going to be honest with you. And she and I talked about this yesterday. I am an encourager. I'm always concerned about everybody else. I'm always wanting to push everybody else. I'm always wanting to see everyone else succeed. But in doing so, I shrink back to allow other people to shine. And that, on one hand, that's a strength, but it's also a weakness. And yesterday, she identified it as my weakness, and I had to receive that. She says, it's time for you to promote yourself. It's time for you to tell people, yes, I'm a media personality. She goes, yes, I'm a political strategist. She goes, yeah, that's who you are. She goes, you shrink back because it's like you're not on this platform or the other platform. She said, your platform is your platform. She goes, say who you are. It goes back to what Molly said to me back in August. She said, it's time for you to lean into what and who you are. She goes, stop trying to give an excuse as to, well, this is what I do. She goes, no, be bold about it. And so this coach, this counselor yesterday said something, and she took me a little bit further. But y'all, we have to do that. So in saying that as well, be careful that your strength does not become your weakness. And my encouragement, my pushing, my promoting other people, although it's a strength, it has become my weakness, because then I shrink back to allow other people to shine. When now is time for me to do what I do and to let people know that I'm doing it. So y'all, again, thank you to everyone. Again, that is our forecast. Our goals, again, if you can pop those up real quick, Isaiah, our goals again is to register 10,000 new voters, feed 10 families monthly, help kickstart 5 small businesses, to have the NewsInMotion viewers determine an idea for a bill and present it to a representative with the hopes they will introduce it to Congress, and host monthly webinars for NewsInMotion members. Thank you, Isaiah. All right, y'all. Y'all know what I say. Until tomorrow, I am your host, Gail Dudley. Y'all know, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Stay safe, live well, and make some bold moves. I'm out.
News